Welcome, everybody, to Reformation Brewery and this awesome Georgia Impact kickoff event. Okay, cool. My name's Jason Longshore. I do radio for Atlanta United on 92.9 The Game, and we're going to get to know the Impact coaching staff and players a little bit better tonight. Any of the girls who are here, we do want to get some questions from some of the young fans as well. We'll do that for some of the players, so y'all be thinking. But let's start with just getting to know the coaching staff. Rob, what brought you to Impact, and what was so instrumental in launching the WPSL side?
So basically, I came over in 2009 to play soccer at Reinhardt University. And like any student, you need to make some money. My head coach at the time, he was a coach here when it was Cherokee Impact back in the day. And it was a great way to get involved, and since then I never changed. I actually started in the rec program, and I coached a rec team, and for 6 months I kept wondering where my players were running off to, and it turns out it was academy coaches taking them, and I had no idea. I just thought they were leaving to another club. So I got more involved in the club, and I learned the structure that players go to academy, select, and eventually the following year I became a select coach, and I grew into the club. Eventually grew to be the girls director, and and coaching on the girls side was never something that I jumped at straight away. I was always on the boys side. That's what I knew. And after my first team, it was an under 11 girls team, I was hooked, because the girls, like, their attention to detail, when you're talking, all eyes are on you, and they can never be good enough. They always want to improve. So I just got hooked on it, never steered away from it, and I love the female side. So being the girls director is a big privilege, and you get a lot of close relationships with the players that you have, and I think the biggest thing for me was how sad the girls were when they graduated and they left and they thought, I'm never going to wear that jersey again. This was an amazing opportunity to bring all those girls that we had, that we loved, off into college. This is an opportunity to bring them back. So one, that was a key factor, but another thing was just our youth girls, like the girls that are here, you see their eyes open up when they see the girls walk out in front of them. That's what I want. I remember as a boy just wanting to be a mascot for the men's teams that I liked. I was a Rangers fan in Scotland, and that was my goal. And to give these girls something that's on their doorstep is huge. And now this dream's kind of a reality, and now it's what can we do next? So it's exciting.
So I'm going to have you introduce your coaching staff and just how you put this group together to start this first season.
Yeah, so 3 fantastic coaches. I'm very, very fortunate because they'll make me look very good. but starting, first up here we've got Wesley Lutz. So Wesley was someone that he was formerly over SSA, and we started a relationship then just from academy scheduling conversations, and we'd never met, but I'd always heard great things, and we were always great to work with, and we were very fortunate that he decided to come over to Impact, and we got very, very, very familiar style of coaching, and just I think as well, the biggest thing for me is it doesn't necessarily always come down to credentials, anything like that. It's about who are the people that are working with you, and can you relate to them. There's no point having best coaches in the world if they can't get on, and again, as a coaching staff, I think that's what's going to be great about us, is we can really bond well. So now very fortunate to have Wesley on here.
Wesley, let's start with you. So you come over to Impact. This is your first time working with, I don't want to say adult, but it's the progression beyond youth. Is this the first time?
It's not. So I've worked with several other USL clubs and NPSL clubs as well in the past. So I was with MOBA their very first year as a goalkeeper coach. And then I've also been with the SSA Kings. I spent 2 years there. And then this past year, got the pleasure of working with both Rob and Fernando with Apotheos and that inaugural year in the NPSL.
Excellent. All right, Rob, next up.
So next up we have our goalkeeping coach, Christina Coca, and Christina for me it's been a pretty new relationship. So Christina was down in Florida, and she basically took the job of Matt Delaria, who was doing a very good job at Georgia Soccer, and we were worried about losing Matt, and then but Christina's came out and done an incredible job so far, and very thankful for all the work and communication she has through Impact on our youth side. So basically the conversation was starting, and a big thing for me was we've got a women's team here. I don't want to fill male staff. I think we have to represent women and provide those opportunities. And having that relationship with Christina was a huge factor. And it being a top goalkeeper in college, it was basically a perfect scenario and something for our college girls, that are coming, that are goalkeepers. We want to provide them a good quality goalkeeper coach as well. So yeah, very happy to have Christina join us as well.
Christina, let me start with you. So, come into Impact. What has been your experience here in Canton and getting to know the community?
So this is actually my first time in Canton.
Okay.
So I just moved to Atlanta from Florida.
Excellent.
Actually, it was like October-ish of last year. So this is actually my first time here. I've been to Reformation, but not this one.
Okay.
Which they have some of my favorite beers, which is good.
Hey, same here.
But no, I mean, just seeing the community out here and seeing the involvement that Georgia Impact has with the community has been amazing. I've been away from the club soccer game for a while. Haven't coached club soccer per se in about 6 years. I've focused on college and then my job at the state level. But getting into this, the conversation that Rob and I had, it was a no-brainer. The relationship that him and I have built, and then just his ideas and his goals and what he wanted this program to become has been really, really big, and it aligns with what I'm thinking too.
Very cool. All right, one more.
There you go. Yeah, and finally the most famous in the staff, FDB Soccer, Fernando de Barros. So, yeah, Fernando, again, we go quite a way back. It was it all started. So Fernando done a fantastic job over at Rome Arsenal, and we were always admirers of basically him. I wouldn't say necessarily the club, because it was that was a club we would go to on the youth side, and there'd be quite some comfortable victories. And I got to see when Fernando came over, that club changed dramatically, and he got them organised, and you could see the standard of player changing. And again, myself and Shane Moore, the executive director, we sat down. We were always looking to grow the club, and that was a name that would always come up. And I was fortunate enough to work with Wes and Fernando at Apotheos FC last year, and that's kind of when the conversation started. And the head coach at the time at Apotheos, Adam Reeks, he was joking around like, he was saying, "Oh, you got Wes now." He's like, "You're all Impact." And then that's when Fernando opened up. Yeah, I'm actually going to Impact as well. So, it was one of those. It's you always want to surround yourself with good people, and that's what happened. We're very fortunate to get Fernando. He's our technical director at the club now, and again, it's just what we saw him doing it at Rome. We're now seeing at Impact, and very fortunate to now have him on the women's team as well.
So, Fernando, let me ask you, as a technical director, what are the most important things for you in kind of spreading the way you want Impact teams to play through all the coaches around the club and here with WPSL?
Yeah, Jason, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for coming out. We truly appreciate it. But back to your question, I think that the technical aspect to me is something that truly I'm passionate about. I think that at the younger ages, you have to establish such a very strong technical foundation to be able to be successful in the game in the long term. So I think it gets to a point where at Impact, I have the support of the other directors and, the head coaches and staff, that we are really trying to establish our own identity where wherever you go and play, that the team you're playing against is an Impact team. We got to make sure that we set our footprint, we establish the foundation, and us as a staff, we're very lucky to have a lot of staff that have very strong soccer backgrounds, and we are confident that they will be able to give the information to the players the way we want it to be given, and that's something that, like Rob said, I really came to Impact not because of the club necessarily, but because of the people. So knowing the characters of Rob, Wes, and people that I have dealt in the past, they have always left a very good image on any time we have faced each other. We've never had issues, and I think we have very similar views. So I think from now on, it's just growth for the club, and I think that the youth and the players are the ones that are going to benefit from it.
All right, I'm going to ask all of you a question, and I want to get a different answer from each of you. Rob, you're going last, so you can't repeat their answers. I'm going to start with you, Fernando. We'll work down. So how do you define success in year one for Impact in WPSL?
Yeah, absolutely. Based on my experience, anytime you are a team that is just expanding and just branching out to UPSL, WPSL, NPSL, it's always a big challenge, especially, from your support staff. The expectations are really a little bit up in the air. But I really think that success for us is not just for the soccer team, but really for the experience we provide to the community. But then just going back to the soccer piece, we really want to make sure that we're able to compete against the best of the best. Natural rhythm being the standard of, the competitions. I think last year they made it to the Final Four. Their top team. That's going to be our home opener. So that's going to be a huge test of standards to see where we're at. But I think that with the depth of the squad, we're looking forward to give them a run for their money. So, yeah, I think success will be just all-around collaboration from the staff, the community, and the quality of the players. I think we'll be able to do a good job.
All right, Christina, in your role, how do you define success this season?
Well, goalkeeper, so the less amount of goals, but no, I fun fact, I'm an alumni of the WPSL. I did the math and it was scary. It was about 16 years ago in Florida. So I think for me, I never had this right here. I've never had the community that we had. We literally put on T-shirts and we went and played. So having this and seeing all of this out here, the support that we've had for the community, the footprint that's being made in this community, I think that's amazing for me, especially with women's professional soccer, where when I grew up, I missed out on the women's league. It happened to fold as I was coming out of college, so I didn't get to play unless I wanted to go overseas. So I didn't get to play. So seeing this and seeing the impact on essentially night one of this is like, I'm in awe of it as a former player. I'm in awe. This is amazing. The support from the community. It's amazing, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
All right, next up, can't repeat an answer.
I think for me, being a part of both the youth side and now the WPSL side is how can we empower not only our professional athletes with the WPSL to go on and try to extend their careers into the NWSL, but how can we empower our young female athletes at the club, both in the academy side and the select side, to see that there is a place for you, that it's not just the men's game that you see on TV, that there is a place for our female athletes to develop and empower them not only within the club, within the community, but knowing that there is something for them to strive for.
Awesome. All right, now the tough one. How do you define success?
So it's a tough question because there's so many different areas that, as a coaching staff, but also as our operations as well, there's so many different ways for success. And we look at the youth club side. For me, a part that I'm really excited about, and I was just made aware, quite recently, is on our roster. So typically there are 18 player rosters. You're allowed 20 players on here on the women's roster. Big thing for me is those last two spots. I'm not catering to just any player. They're going to be our youth players coming out, and they're going to be on the squad, and they're going to be out there in the warm-up with the opportunity of, can we get them on the field? And I think that, for me, that is going to be a huge success story, because that every girl that's in here in the club, they're going to think that is possible. That's my dream. That's an opportunity for success. Now, as coaching staff, our goal is, let's go and win this thing. That's the goal, And honestly, if you asked me last summer, how will you do in the WPSL? I would have said, listen, Charlotte Eagles, the Nashville Rhythm, there's some top teams, and we want to give them the total respect that they have. But as we started tryouts, we got excited. We're like, there's some good talent in this team. And then once we announced that talent, more talent came in, and then more talent. And we've built this roster where we've had to turn some Division I athletes away, which on day one we never thought that would have been possible. And so we've built this roster of 42 players, and we're at this stage where we're like, you know what? We might be underdogs, but we're going for it. And I think just having the opportunity to go out there and go and compete, that's success right there. But again, as a community, just being here, we've already got the success because the team's happening and we're going, and it's been a great start. So yeah, everything else a bonus.
I think one of the things to keep in mind that is very cool about what's going to happen here this summer is you guys are going to inspire, the team's going to inspire the young girls. you're also going to inspire the young boys as well. And I think we're getting to a point where you're starting to see, like, boys grow up wanting to play like Tobin Heath or, like Alex Morgan because they're great players. I think we're starting to break down that barrier of how players play. And the boys at Impact are going to get an opportunity to see high-level soccer in their community for the first time. It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. It's it's something that's been so underestimated. It's you see the English Premier League, you see MLS, you see everything on the TV, but so people always have that doubt of where is women's soccer at? And I get that a lot, from even in Scotland. They're like, well, when are you going to go to the men's game? And I'm like, I'm not. This is rising and it's going so fast. And listen, women's soccer started this. And the men's game caught up. And yeah, I can't wait. It's to show what we're capable of, what all the female athletes, what they're capable of, and yeah, it's eventually we'll have some of our boys at Impact maybe want to be some of these players that we have on our roster right now. So yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to play like Mia Hamm, because she was an amazing player. It didn't matter. Like, she was just an incredible player. Thank you, guys. Thanks for everything that you guys are doing in the community. That's one of the reasons that I come out and do these things is I love the club has such a community feel. And I think we're losing that a little bit in the game and how crazy it gets right now. But this really feels like it's part of the community. So good luck this season. Great to meet everybody, and thank you. Rob, you're sticking around because we got to introduce some of the players. All right, cool. And any of the kids who are here, we're going to take some questions for the players as well. So start thinking. We'll get you to come up and ask a couple questions as well. All right, welcome back. The Georgia Impact reveal of the jerseys and debut of the team here in Canton at Reformation Brewery. Jason Longshore, this is going to go out on the Soccer Down Here podcast network. Rob, introduce your players, some of your first signings for the club.
Yeah, so very excited to announce these three right here. All different stories as well. So up first we have Brenny, and Brenny's been someone that I've actually known for quite a while through when she played at Kennesaw State, and before, and you always remember it's just that powerhouse defender scoring from the half field line, fantastic player. And then we ended up kind of building a relationship through players, one of our teammates as well, and my teammates, and so on. And it's been great. And I've also been able to watch her from the side as well. She's been a fantastic coach. So she's got the Predator soccer training that she does as well. And a lot of my youth players will go to her as well on the youth side, and she does a fantastic job with them. So it's been great to get her back out, and she's played in the WPSL before as well, and I believe in the USL. She was up at Chattanooga Red Wolves, or Chattanooga FC. It's been great to get her back.
So tell me a little bit about what brought you out to play this season. What was his sales pitch?
I think the biggest thing was just like I live close, and I wanted to play for a team that was close by, and I just love this community and all of the people that are here supporting us, and I wanted to play for a team that was close so I could be with my family more, and my family could come out and support, and yeah.
As one of the veterans who's played at this level, what's something that you tell the younger players in the team to get ready for this level of play?
Do some fitness. The speed of play is definitely a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And you definitely need to be prepared for every game, whether that's eat right, be in shape, just be ready to go, and be ready even if you don't start, be ready to go, come off the bench, and just play your best. Excellent.
All right, Rob, next up.
So next up,
She's going to be ready to go.
That's our mascot right here. So next up we got Morgan Castle. So Morgan, again, that's for me, like we said earlier, we're talking about success stories. That's a success story for me right here because Morgan started at the club back when you were 4 or 5 years old. And came all the way through, and again doing great things over at Young Harris, and to be able to again offer the opportunity to come back, play on the women's team, and again she gets to play back in front of her family, but also back in Impact colours. So it's been a great story, phenomenal right back, and just has an engine on her, and will get up and down that field all day. At least we hope.
So Morgan, it was a no-brainer for you to play for Impact, obviously coming through the club. How important was it to you to be part of the first WPSL team?
It was important to me because I started at the club, so it's great to come back and kind of help them develop more as a club, and to help the girls that were once me see that you can go further in soccer and you can do really great things through this club and further in life.
How did your last season at Young Harris go? How'd the fall go?
It went really well. We're still building as a team. We have a lot of new players coming in, and it should be a good season in the fall.
So a lot of girls here who want to be in your shoes down the line. What's one piece of advice that you would give them tonight?
The biggest piece of advice I would give them is to listen to your coaches and take each critique as them trying to help you, and not so much them trying to be hard on you or say that you're not good. It's just them trying to help you and develop as a player, and to just continue to work on your own and do things outside of practice as well.
Thank you. Rob, next up.
So next up we have Annika. So Annika, new relationship for myself. We got to meet her at tryouts. She walked up and currently plays at Life University. And straight away, Coach Wes, Coach Fernando, myself, we all got together and we're like, who is that? And honestly, it was a phenomenal midfielder, has a fantastic eye for a pass, and just a very exciting player, and it was someone that we had to speak to on the day of tryouts. We didn't do that with everybody, but we had to speak to Annika that day just to try and lock her in, because she's a very exciting prospect, so we're very excited to have her.
So, Annika, tell me about that tryout day. You show up to a tryout, you don't really know what to expect. How did it go for you? What was it like?
So I was a little bit nervous. I didn't really know what I was walking into, and I got there, and we started out with just playing 11s with 4 teams, and I was just trying to run as much as I could. I knew, if you want to make a difference in a game and you want to show out to the coaches, then you just got to put the work into it. And everybody was out of shape. We had all been out of practice for I can speak for everybody when I say we were out of shape, but we were tired. But it's just kind of that mental fitness thing, and if you want something, then you just got to prove to them that you want to be on the team and that you want to play. So I think it turned out really well. There's a lot of really good players. There was a lot of competition, and I'm just glad I got the opportunity to play.
How did the fall go for you at Life?
It was good. We had some trials with our head coach, but we showed out, and we made it to the conference tournament for the first time in the history of the program. We went all the way to the final, and then we lost to the reigning champion. So I think we did really good. It was my first year at Life. I just transferred in, so I think it went really good for everything we could have expected. Because we lost our head coach in the middle of the season, and our assistant stepped up, and he did really well for us.
In those kinds of situations, and I think every player is different who's been through that kind of a thing, what happens in the locker room? Did seniors step up and kind of take over leadership? How did that play out in your mind?
Yeah, well, while we were in the process sort of our coach maybe leaving, we kind of just came together as a group, and we wanted to do it for our assistant coach. And we kind of just banded together, and we were saying our assistant coach is worth the work, and we're willing to put in the work for him because he's done so much for us. So we kind of just came together as a unit and did everything that we could for our assistant coach, and ended up getting a pretty good result for what we wanted.
That's super cool. Awesome. Do any of the girls out here have any questions for these 3 Impact players? There we go. Come on up. What do you want to ask?
How much time did it take for y'all guys to be able to be really good to practice?
How much time did it take for y'all to get to where you are now?
A lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, you grow up playing soccer and it turns into something that you love, and so it's not necessarily how much time because you love to be there. So just keep playing, give everything that you got, and don't let any coach tell you you're not good enough.
Thank you. That was awesome. Seriously, I think that's something that people don't always understand, like the amount of time commitment it takes to be at this level. You know, summer league, I mean, for you, like, what's the training schedule look like? How many hours is the team putting in week to week over the summer schedule?
Yeah, so this summer we're going to be training 3 times a week. So we're going to go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And, yeah, typically a lot of summer teams are doing twice a week. We wanted to give honestly, we were always thinking, should we do three a week? Let's do one more than the competition. And that was always the original goal. But then I also wanted to interview the girls on that and ask around, because if it's not something they're going to buy into, we don't want to force them to do something and kind of lose that morale on the team. But everyone I spoke to all requested and said, yeah, can we do that? And then, can we add strength and conditioning? Can we do something? And honestly, that's it. It grew to becoming, you know what, it's no longer a question of should we do this. That's the level we're all expecting. Coaching staff, the players are expecting it of us to provide that. And we're going to be working hard, but everyone's doing it whilst they love what they do.
And that's the starting point. And you guys know this, 3 times a week training, yeah, that's fine. What else does it take off the field for you guys to be able to deliver in training the way that you want to be able to earn playing time? I think for young players, maybe they don't understand the work you have to put in outside of a practice session. You know, what are some of the examples that you guys have had, whether it's in college or playing WPSL, that has gotten you to this point that you've done offline, outside of your team training?
I'll say, just from the experience I've had in the WPSL, the recovery is probably the most important, because it's such a quick season. I mean, it's 2 to 3 months, so you've just got to be ready to go to the next practice and the next game, and you've got to take care of your body. So it's the recovery, it's the nutrition, it's the sleep, because I think we all know, like, we've played soccer our whole lives, right? Like, we don't need to probably do a whole lot of soccer type skills outside of practice, because that's what we do at practice. But I think it's just taking care of your body and getting ready for the next either practice or the next game.
What about for you guys?
I think for me it was more of like learning to listen to your body, and if you need to take a break, it's okay to take a break. You don't always have to be going 100 miles per hour, and that sometimes taking the break is the best thing you can do.
I mean, that's a lot that we just covered. That I think for youth players and youth coaches, you don't really think about it. I didn't when I was playing. 10 years ago, it wasn't something that was front of mind. But it's the training sessions, it's the video, it's the nutrition, it's the rest. But then it's also the timing of everything to peak on game day, because you have to put in all this work. You have to get in the rest, but you have to put in the work the right way to be able to give your best in the match.
Yeah, it's such a big part of soccer and coaching now, and every coaching license we go to, it's no longer, put some kids on the field and do a drill. It's now we're actually having to learn the sports science of it, and we've got to take into account the workload that they're putting in each game. Some may be playing the entire game, some may be playing 10 minutes, so we have to, again, arrange that practice on the Monday of, all right, some need to work a little harder than others so that they all stay at the same level, and even on that Thursday, it's, again, let's maybe go a little bit more tactical, prepare them, and then that way they come in at 100% ready for the weekend.
Okay. All right, last one for you guys. So y'all are going to be idols to a lot of these girls here this season. I want to ask each of you, who was your first soccer idol? Who was your favorite player? You had a poster on a wall, whatever it was. Who was your first idol that you looked up to as a player?
I'll go first. Mine was Abby Wambach.
Okay.
Which she's obviously retired now, and I'm older, so. But I do still watch the women's national team.
Yeah.
And a lot of those players, I know they transition in and out. depending on if they're having babies or injured or whatever it may be. But I would say Julie Ertz probably is my second favorite, and she was a center back for a while.
Yep.
So yeah, Abby Wambach and Julie Ertz.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would say for me, probably Carly Lloyd.
Okay.
She was a very overlooked player when she was younger,
Yeah.
but she continued to put in the work, and then she became one of the best players on the team. So I think for me, it was just seeing her be resilient like that, showed that hard work really does pay off.
Awesome.
I think mine was Mia Hamm, to be honest, because when I was younger, my sister and my brother got to do a juggling competition with them.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know what the event was, but I was just watching my little 5-year-old self, and I was watching them do it, and so I was kind of inspired by that because you could tell how happy she was, and she was doing what she loved. So that always inspired me because I love the sport as well. So it was nice to see that she gets to play, but she also gets to spend time with families and kids and stuff and motivate them as well.
That's awesome. Thank you guys for taking the time for me tonight, and good luck this season. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to everybody here at Reformation Brewery, the Georgia Impact WPSL launch event. Huge reception tonight, Rob.
Yeah, it's been an incredible turnout. Again, this just goes to what we're trying to do is by getting the community out here. And like I said, the biggest thing for us is, one, it's mainly about getting the community out. And if they're not soccer fans, we want to introduce them to soccer, But again, just seeing the youth soccer girls out here, we took a brief break there, and some of the youth girls straight away asked, can they go and take a picture? Again, we spoke about success. There it was. And, that's a huge goal for us. So, no, it's been a great night so far.
All right, 4 more players to introduce that fans will be able to see at Cherokee High School this summer in the WPSL. Who's up first?
So we got a real special group right here. So we selected this one on purpose. So a lot of these girls played, again, through Impact, through their youth career. So starting up, we've got Katie Calloway. So I was fortunate enough to coach Katie back at, U13, I think it was. And but yeah, she was still in the academy, but she was on the age group below. And again, I heard from our head coach, and he was like, "You really got to see this girl." And we gave her an opportunity. She came, she played up, and she killed it. She actually scored the winning goal that got the team promoted that season by playing a year up. So that was, that was incredible. I've always been a massive fan. Katie moved off to UFA, played at ECNL over there. She smashed it again. Stayed, kept an eye on our career as well, and stayed in touch. And it was great to be able to coach her again.
What was the first thing that stood out about Rob as a coach for you?
Just, he's so amazing. He's so funny. He's lighthearted. So, he'll be hard on you, but he's also just, has that funny side to him. He'll break you down, but then he'll, build you back up. So, from that standpoint, he's just a great coach.
How would you describe your style of play? How would you describe yourself as a player?
Oh, I would say I'm creative, especially in the attacking third. And, I love to connect passes. I love when people play me in the midfield. I'd love to always have the ball. So, yeah.
Very cool. Who's next, Rob?
So the next one, again, this is another real success story through the club. Similar to Morgan, started at 4 years old. And she played through our rec program, pre-academy program, academy program, select program, and now she's just signed for Reinhardt University as well. And really, really proud. I've grown to a great relationship with Kennedy on and off the field as well, with her family. And really proud to be able to have her on the team. And she was on my under-19s team this season. She was our captain, and done an incredible job stepping up like that as well. And to be able to, again, get her this opportunity and to be able to see her on the field is really exciting.
So, Kennedy, you've been through every level of the club. What's the piece of advice that you would give to the young girls who want to follow your path?
I've been through a lot with the club. I've definitely hit my low points, but Rob especially has brought me up. So, if you just keep working hard, you'll get to where you want. You got to work for it. It doesn't come easy. I don't know.
What's been one of the most challenging things about that journey for you?
I mean, I think it was like U13 and U14 trying to make it up to that elite team. And I got stuck on the premier team. And then finally Rob saw a little spark in me, and he was like, you know what, I'll put her on my team. And ever since then, I've really grown as a player. So.
And why Reinhardt?
I mean, it's really close to home. It's a very pretty campus. I love the coaches there, and the team seems to be very sweet. So I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Who's next? Add to that.
So I can actually touch on a story there as well. So, I was probably, as much as Kennedy and I are close now, I was probably cussed out a few times in that home from tryouts. So, yeah, there was we had probably 2 or 3 tryouts where, again, the team was very good. We had a great foundation, and Kennedy was so close. And, it was between probably 3 players. And that was always one of my toughest decisions every year. And it probably got to that year. It was at the under-15s, and I remember, and one of our close friends, Kylie, she was on the elite team, and I had her come over because we had about 10 minutes left to try it. And I was like, Kylie, I really want Kennedy on the team, but I need to see just something else. I need to see that spark. I was like, so go and tell her, and let's just see what happens, and that will be the decision. And within a minute, she got her assist straight away, cross ball into Kylie, goal. A minute later, another cross, goal, and I was like, all right, we're done. So, yeah, she really stepped up, and thank goodness, because, what a career she built out of that. So, yeah.
And look, that's the thing. I think something I'd say to every player is, working with Atlanta United, I've watched it happen with George Campbell, who was a player who was really like trying to stay in each group. He was at the bottom of each age group, trying to stay in, and it clicked finally for him at U17. And then he made a fast rise up to playing in Major League Soccer. Machop Chol is another one who had his first goal this past weekend. Machop was overlooked a lot because of other players in his community, and it just took that consistent work and that spark that you talk about to stand out. And Machop got it, and now he's starring in MLS and becoming a really important factor. Sometimes it's not a straight line, and sometimes it just takes a little more time.
That's it, exactly. So, everyone's got a different path, and that's something we have to explain a lot in the club, and that's why we love to share their stories, because a lot of girls go through the same issues, and it's important for them to know that, listen, some girls develop at 8 years old, and they're ahead of the group, but sometimes they get caught up, and then they fall behind. But then some girls, they might not develop till they're 17, 18 years old, and that's when they really fly, and that's, I think it's important to spread that story, so... Like we said, these youth girls that are coming out tonight, they understand that it's okay if I'm on a premier team. I'm where I'm meant to be right now in the journey, and I'll get there.
All right, who's up next?
So next up, we got Jamie Cowell. So Jamie was, I believe it was the under-15 season, maybe? Under-13? Oh, wow. All right. So back in the day, I'm feeling even older than I do already. So, Jamie came over, under-13s. She was over in Roswell at the time, and that was one thing we had in the team. We really struggled with our in defense, and Jamie just popped up. I was through, I believe, the middle school league that we run, I was kind of in awe, because it's rare you find on the female game just that kind of aggression, willingness to challenge for every ball, throw your body on the line. I mean, we've had countless injuries of wrists and ankles and hands, and it's not been from you're running the mill soccer, and just because she's thrown her body in the way of everything and really puts her body on the line. So, thrilled that Jamie's came to us, and she went off and played at True there, and they were getting her back again this season. So, very excited to have Jamie.
So, Jamie, what is it about defending that you love so much? Not everybody does.
I just think I love the challenge of it, and...
Use this one.
I just think I love the challenge of it, and I don't know, I've always been more drawn to the back. I started out as a forward, and Rob moved me up to a forward in one of my last seasons, but I always ended up going back because that was just where I felt most comfortable, and I just really liked being aggressive, and that's the best position for that, so that worked out well.
Is there a moment where it felt like it clicked for you that playing defense was it?
Probably when I was about 8 years old and I got put into that position for the first time. It was just I just knew. I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to be. And stuck
Tell
with
me
it
about
since then.
how college has been for you so far.
It's been good. It's been definitely an adventure and a big learning experience and a big learning curve, I would say.
Next up.
So next up, we got Hannah Obanoff. So Hannah is just an incredible standout defender for me. Again, someone that consistently played up. So the same team, the same group, 04s back at U13. Hannah was still in academy, and Hannah was someone that, again, our team needed. We were struggling defensively, and we pulled Hannah up in every single year. She was playing up a year and just played lights out. Was one of the strongest players out there, and she played at ECNL over UFA this last year, signed Division 1, and she's really reaching her goals. But I'd say proudest thing for me for Hannah as well is that I've also got youth players currently that are already looking up to her, and and she's not even graduated yet. So that's that's a real special thing, because I've got players talking to me like, okay, what's Hannah doing? Because they want to be as good as Hannah. So I can't wait. She's only started the beginning of this journey, and to have her on the women's team is going to be excellent to see her even progress from here.
So what's it like being a role model? Who are some of the players that you've looked up to? What's the hardest thing about playing up, being the youngest player in the group?
For me, it was always matching level of play every year, especially just when it got harder and harder every year, the more age groups that went up. And learning each player individually and how to play with them is especially hard because not everyone plays the same. Some are more technical and others are more direct, and it's especially hard.
Excellent. Anything else you want to say about this group, Rob?
Extra special for myself, for the club. Real proud that I was able to be a part in their youth career and still seeing them, succeed. They've all had different journeys, but we're all back and going for the same goal this summer. So it's going to be really special to see what our Impact players can do on the field this summer against some of the best players in the country.
The one thing I'd say to you guys is, representing the club, y'all are the first, to wear the jersey, to be in front of the fans and savor every moment of it. That first season, I think looking back at the first year of Atlanta United, and it feels like a long time ago. I wish that I had taken more time to soak things in. So, as crazy as it'll be and as fast-paced as it'll be, try to take every opportunity just to soak it in and feel it. Because it is an amazing opportunity. So congratulations.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, one more group from the Georgia Impact team that's going to represent Canton in the WPSL this summer. Rob, tell me about this group.
So last group up. So Shannon actually came to us after tryouts. Team was starting to come together, and that was a nice surprise because, again, when you look at some Division 1 athletes coming in, Shannon played there Division 1, and she came out to our practice, and she did very well. And again, we spoke earlier about why they're coaching the women's game, and it's because they can never do enough. They always want to impress. They always want to do more, and and that was it. I was very impressed with Shannon at the time, and she came up to me and she was like, "That was horrible," and I'm like, "No, you weren't." I was like, "You done great." I was like, "We'd love to have you on the team," and she's like, "No, you're just saying that because you're trying to be nice." I'm like, "No, genuinely." So I think Shannon will have a great impact on the team, and again, played local or down at Kennesaw State, so that's great to be able to bring her back.
All right, I'm going to get more than one word out of you on all these. Right. So let's start with your time at KSU. Just tell me about what that means to you now.
Then it felt like it went through like it was a blur.
Yeah.
But like looking back on it, it was probably the best 4 years of my life. Just because like if you love something so much, and I used to like grow up going to the Kennesaw State games whenever I was younger, and I always looked up to those girls. Like I was a ball girl whenever I was growing up, and I always thought they were like the most amazing, players in the world. And whenever I finally got the chance to like play at that level, like to me that was the star highlight of my life. Like that was exactly what I wanted to do, my dream, and I got to accomplish it. So like looking back, like I'm just so thankful for that experience and all my friendships, and then my experience level, how it changed, and then just like the entire like process of it was like unreal.
So what brought you out to join Impact this season?
So I still like played in like competitive, I would say somewhat competitive co-ed leagues, but it's not the level that I'm used to. And so I was like, I really like miss soccer so much. And I live like 20 minutes from where they were going to be playing. And my dad actually sent me the article, and he was like, "Shannon, this is for you. You need to do this." And so I very humbly reached out to him because I was like, he's going to tell me no, like go away. Like you missed the tryouts. And thankfully he didn't, and I just, wanted a chance to prove myself and to be a part of this team because I thought it was awesome growing up in this area, and seeing it. I'm so proud.
So last one, when you think about what kind of advice you would give to the young girls coming through the club who are going to be watching you guys this season, what advice would you give to them?
I would say just like have faith in yourself and believe in yourself. I think it can be very challenging going against like a lot of people at your same level and like wanting to stand out, and you can get like really down on yourself. But like if you just put in the extra work, do what you can, to stand out, and then just be proud of your like little moments, like those little moments, a goal, like a really good pass, whatever it is, like just be proud of it because those little moments will like add up, and you can just be like truly, truly like happy with the player that you are, and then also the teammate that you are, and just be comfortable with being uncomfortable is what I would say.
All right, I'm clipping all of that, and I'm using it and sending it to every young player I know. That was perfect. Thank you. All right, next up.
So next up, we have our overly confident Thor, who loves questions. So so Thor plays at Life University. So I used to actually be the assistant coach on the men's team over there, and but our times crossed by where I didn't actually get a chance to see her play. And like what I said earlier, was we kind of had our set squad. My goal was get 32 players and then just go from there. And again, it's one of these where we built our team. We think that's it. And again, talent just kept coming, and Thora was one of them. Reached out, and I thought, okay, let's see, and watched the highlight, and man, what a striker, what a goal scorer. So has an absolute rocket of a foot. I mean, stronger than any man or guy I've played with. I was like, she's bursting the net, so that immediately caught my eye, and someone I'm very excited about. Big powerful striker up top. So excited to have Thora.
So we have this conversation about strikers a lot, that you have to be hungry for goals. Like there's just, it's a different mentality than playing as a midfielder or playing as a winger. There's a hunger for it. What does scoring a goal mean to you?
It's just nice to help the team and like.
I mean, what's the feeling you get in those moments?
Oh, just thankful to be able to help my team.
So, in terms of all of the other things that a striker does, I think a lot of times we just focus on that goal-scoring side. What makes you stand out in your mind as a player? How would you describe yourself as a complete player?
Probably fast and hungry for goals. Yeah.
Tell me about your season at Life last year.
Oh, it was quite good actually.
scored some goals, some assists, and made the conference team. And I got All-American. Yeah, we went to a conference final. Oh yeah, and yeah, that's all.
See, we got more than one word out of you. That's okay. Thank you. Next up.
All right, and the one that won't talk at all. Yeah. So, no, this is funny that it's the last interview as well, because this was our last player announcement as well, and we done that on purpose because we didn't know if social media could handle it. And so, yeah, it was our most popular on social media, and it was because Meg isn't just a player in the Impact team, but she's also one of our coaches at the club. So, massive fan base, a lot of the girls that she's had dealings with as well. Yeah, very fond of her, and it's been fantastic to be able to, have her come out to the tryout. And, she was joking about coming out to the tryout, and, oh, no, like, I'll just be a number and all that. And, no, she came and she earned her spot, and no, again, it'll be another defender that we have to look into. So, again, and we spoke earlier about having good people around you, and Meg's a great person, and in particular, on the coaching side of things, she's just wanting to learn as well. And again, I've been very privileged to have her on the girls' side on our staff. And I think as well, this opportunity, her as a player will be great, but also on the coaching side as well, working alongside these players.
All right, switch mics for me just real quick, because I want to make sure I get it recorded here. There we go. So, as a coach, how does coaching make you a better player? Yeah, it's low. Let's do this one. Sorry.
Hanging over it. Got to try and remember my answer now.
Okay. All good.
Breaking it as usual.
Breaking mics. Let's try that again. Go ahead.
This is why I don't do interviews.
How does coaching make you a better player?
I think learning from other coaches, especially, like I assist with Rob, where I assist with all the coaches on the WPSL. I think learning from them on one side and then transferring it to how I play, I think helps massively.
How would you describe yourself as a player?
One coach actually said that I'm a typical English defender. I love a header. I love a tackle. I think during the tryout, I got like one where all the coaches were like, how you not got concussion from that? Because I was the goal line clearance. It just literally just smacked me on the head, and I was like, you know what? It is what it is, but I love it. Any header, any slide tackle, I'll take.
So what was your mentality going into the tryout? Rob said, you were like, I don't know. What was your mentality going in?
Part of me, Wes will take it from training, where I was like, I don't want to join in, but secretly, yeah, I wanted to. I knew from the get-go they were having a team, and my mum even said it. She was like, just go try out. I was like, nah, but I think in my head I was saying that just because I was like, there's no pressure on it then. There's no pressure. I can just enjoy it. Because I think college I've not played in a while, so having no pressure, I'll be a number, it made me relax. So, yeah.
So, as a coach at the club, now going to be a player in the WPSL, what is kind of your goal in the example that you want to set for the young kids?
I just want to set the example, really, that even though I've been out for over a year, you can still come back and play. The club will still take you in no matter what your role is at the club, but then also they believe in you both on and off the field. So
I think that's one of the major takeaways that I've had tonight, talking to you, talking to players, is this is really becoming like a family kind of club where players can come through and become coaches can play on the senior team. It's really that true community, like full range from little kids just starting to kick a ball all the way through.
Yeah, that's it. And, I think a lot of the time in the social media world, hashtags get looked over, and you'll see a lot of people do, fill in name, family, or whatever. But, we've had Impact Family, and you see it's on the back of our jersey. We've had that for a long time, and it's because, again, the size of our club as well, we don't want to expand and become this massive, massive brand because you lose that touch. And, being able to know all of the players in the club, know the families as well, know what's going on in their lives, knowing the coaching staff and everybody knowing each other, that all brings that back. And to be able to bring that into the women's team now is huge, you know. And then again on the front of the jersey we've got that more where it says more than a club, and you know, that's exactly what it is. It's you know, it's more than a club, because again, it's coaches are involved, players are involved, you know, the younger girls are coming in and being involved, and we want to offer so much more than just being a soccer club. It's how can we prepare these girls for the future, and even nights like tonight, you know, these are life skills that are incredibly valuable for them. So again, thank you for coming out here, but this has been it's been huge for us and huge for them, so no, thank you.
Thanks, y'all, first off, for doing this. And all I can say is I'm a bigger fan of everything you guys are doing than I was walking in the door, because I think we've lost a lot of what you just said, that kind of that family feel, that community feel in the game. And that's, I think, what's special to all of us. You know, whether it's your high school team, your college team, your youth team, you know, that's what keeps us coming back, is that emotional connection to it. So thanks, you guys. Thank you. And thanks to everybody here in Canton and Reformation Brewery and Georgia Impact for having us tonight.